The Eagle is the highest recognition that scouting offers to scouts. It is earned through the advancement program, and only a small percentage of boys who begin in scouting receive this honor.
Thank you for letting me come along on your journey, and I'm very proud of you. I guess I'll look in the camera, I don't know. I am extremely proud of you, and I'm sorry I pushed you so hard, but you asked me to. So I hope it was worth it, and let's go for those palms, because I want you to succeed. It's preparing you for life, and I love you more than you will ever know.
George, I'm very proud of you achieving this goal at such an early age, and the hard work that you put into this. You know, we had well over 100 people here show up for you. It's lots of goodwill back to you, and I'm very proud of you. I love you. Thanks.
Please rise for the color guard. Group, pennant. Color guard, pennant. Color guard, forward march. Ready, halt. Prepare post colors. Scout hand salute. Post colors. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Color, bow. Face. Scout sign. On my honor,
I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, keeping myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
A Scout is
trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
2. Color, forward march. A young man has to spend a great deal of time and effort to earn the higher ranks of scouting. We respect the Eagle Scout for his learning and perseverance. He brings honor to us all. Could Life Scout George Eikenberry please come forward? Scouts, Scouters, and friends of Scouting, this is an occasion for pride and joy, as well as a time for serious reflection. The Eagle is the highest recognition that Scouting offers to Scouts. It is earned through the advancement program, and only a small percentage of boys who begin in Scouting receive this honor. The wearer of the Eagle Award bears the sign of Scouting's best efforts and beliefs. Tonight, we have the pleasure of seeing George recognized for his Scouting accomplishments by joining the company of Eagle Scouts. Now we will hear the story of George's Trail to Eagle. Could Rhonda Eikenberry please come forward?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, those scares. So first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming. This is very overwhelming. I did not write this down, but I should have. But the night that he joined Cub Scouts, I was very sick with the flu and could not think straight until a couple months later when I got approached to be committee chair. So I was supposed to be the leader, but the shoes I got were much bigger than I expected. So George was a Scout before he was even born. Michael, his older brother, joined Pack 24 in February of 1995 as a Wolf Scout. Michael then went to crossing over into Troop 351 in February of 1999. George was 2 years old at the time and would chase some of the older boys around before and after the meetings in the troop, only to find about 8 years later, some of those same boys were still in the troop. I think Bryce, you were in, and Jonathan, you were still in. So it was a complete circle to say. George started Tiger Scouts here in Pack 351 in fall of 2003. and earned all of his tiger beads. Then off to Wolf, earned all of those beads, his gold arrow and 12 silver arrows, followed by Bear, repeating the same thing, and got his first of 2 religious awards. And as a Weeblo, he earned all 20 pins, his second religious award, more segments, pins, belt loops, including his arrow of light. Oh, he was very antsy getting into the troop that he had called his troop since he was 2 years old. Jerry Huntley was a scoutmaster at the time when Michael was in the troop. Jerry had George promise him that he would join the troop when he crossed over. So it was kind of a no-brainer where George wanted to go, as he didn't want to break the promise to Jerry, and was proud to tell him the next time he saw him. George didn't want to finish as a Weeblo too. He had earned everything and wanted to see if he could cross over early. So I asked Laddie Buck, who was the district executive at the time of the council, what can I do? I want to keep him active. Laddie says, well, as long as he's 10 and a half and he's earned his arrow light, there's no problem with him crossing over early. He said, great. So Thursday, October 11th, 2007, was the date was ticked because he was officially 10 and a half on the 8th of October. So Eagle Scout Bryce Glenn, Jordan Hackerell, and our dearly departed Eagle Scout Brennan Buell were the Art of Arrow crossover team members. Scoutmaster Sharon Bell and Matt Kienberger greeted George and welcomed him into the troop. That weekend, George, on his first official Boy Scout Troop 351, camp out to Butte Creek and rode on a horse. Her name was Rosie. It was his first time ever riding a horse, so it made it even more special. Just recently, the troop returned to Butte Creek for another weekend of camping on a horseback ride. But Rosie was there, but he didn't get to ride her. George is not an idle child. He's like a little Energizer bunny. Eager to learn, try, and do new things. He told me on many occasions how he wanted to be an Eagle Scout someday, but he didn't want to wait until he was older. George went through the ranks, and at Summer Camp 2010 at Camp Rehoboth in Tahuya, Washington, I had to actually figure out that pronunciation, which is located on the Hood Canal between Bremerton and Olympia. He earned 7 merit badges. 4 of them were Eagle required. He got the news earlier last year that my mother was slowly losing her eyesight. George pushed through more of his merit badges as he wanted to see his grandmother to have his grandmother see him get his Eagle. George met with Father Chris Weekly and his principal, Mr. John Makovich, on projects that could be done around the church and school. Then it was decided that a shed would be the best option and the most useful of both facilities, to house the extra tables, which will soon be in there. It was to house the extra tables and make it more room in the cafeteria. And the next day, George went out to go price things, and the Energizer Bunny. He worked hard and then found Brown's Lumber just down the street here on Powell that was able to give him almost 3/4 of the donated materials. We looked at each other and said, holy cow. With the remaining of the fundraising that he did for his Jamboree Fund and a few other donations from family, friends, and anonymous people, it worked out. He even had $15 left over to purchase a plaque to put on the shed. George asked me to push him and stay on track to make his goal, as he had a goal and wanted to achieve it. He wanted to make the Eagle in 2010, but there were other boys ahead of him that were on a time constraint due to age, so he waited semi-impatiently. There were times he asked me to stop helping him and quit pushing him, but then it was, help me, stop me, keep pushing, go. It caused a lot of friction, but at his Eagle Board review on February 11th of this year, he said, Mom, thanks for everything. Gave me a huge hug. Right there, it melted my heart beyond immeasurable words. There is still more that he wants to achieve, and I'm sure he can do it. He plans to help others with what they need to learn so they can be in the same position and the road where they may lead them. Scouts is a big part of his life. It has taught him lessons and has made lasting friendships that will last him a lifetime. It has also helped him to meet other people from all around the world. Just last week during spring break, George and I had the pleasure of going to Iceland, where we met up with some scouts there, and their meeting was preparing for a kayak trip on a lake. But the and practiced in the local school in their swimming pool. We were invited to camp with them that week, and I'm thinking, we're not even prepared. We don't even have a sleeping bag. But unfortunately, the trip was canceled. But they decided to go rock climbing instead, so we got a first on that too. So we went along for the day, and we had an absolute blast. I took pictures. I was scared of heights. And he's made Icelandic long-lasting friends. George, I'm very proud of you. Thank you for allowing me to be on this journey with you, sharing memories that will last us a lifetime. Thank you very much. But most of all, thank you for being my son. Love always more.
That was beautiful. If Garth would please come up. Garth is an Eagle Scout of Troop 64. He is our OE Chapter Advisor, District Program Chair, and Scoutmaster of Troop 71.
Assistant Scoutmaster.
Assistant Scoutmaster of Troop 71. And he will be reading the Eagle Charge. Would all Eagles present please come forward and stand behind George as he rededicates himself to the principles of Scouting by repeating the Scout Oath.
So nice to have a stage when they have this many eagles.
I recognize my obligation to my fellow men,
I recognize my obligations to my fellow men,
my home,
my home,
my country,
and
my God.
my God.
I will at all times do my best
I will at all times do my best
to assist others,
to assist others,
to live with honor, loyalty, courage, and service, and be the living example
and be the living example
of the Scout Oath and Law
of the Scout Oath and Law
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
Two. Generally, this is so hard. George, I have seen that you have actually already led as an Eagle Scout, even before you were close to it. You've led by the Scout example, the Scout Oath, the Scout Law, mostly, as your mom has always said, like an Energizer bunny. You're always at the lead, you're always shining and being an example. I thankfully say I am glad to have met you. Welcome to the ranks of the Eagle Scout.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Paul, if you'll please come forward again to present the Eagle Award.
That's late.
Lead bills.
Before the Eagle Award is bestowed upon you, I'm going to ask your parents to come to your side. Standing in between them. There we go. Okay. Life Scout George Eikenberry. We are finally at the point you have been waiting for. It is now time to formally present this high badge of accomplishment. By the authority vested in this court of honor by the National Council of Boy Scouts of America, it is my privilege and pleasure to pronounce you an Eagle Scout. Does that do with this? Yeah. So now you're supposed to admire it for a few minutes and then put it in your pocket. Okay, I would also like to present you with this eagle neckerchief. It's a good thing I pre-wrote this up. It is fancy. No matter what they say. Okay. Your mother has no doubt been a source of inspiration and assistance in your quest for the Eagle Award. I would ask that she pin your Eagle Award on your left pocket.
See, Mom? They're laughing at you.
No, I think they're laughing.
Are you sure? Two.
I ask that the Eagle Scout's father now to present his son with the Eagle Scout certificate and personal letter of commendation from the Boy Scouts of America Chief Scout Executive. Okay. As a symbol of what his mother has made possible, the court now asks this eagle to present his mother this mother's eagle pin.
You okay? I'm good.
As a symbol of what his father has made possible, the court now asks that George to present his father with his Eagles dad's pin. Okay. Would the audience please rise and welcome our newest Eagle Scout.
Second mom to me, and she's just awesome. Everyone loves her, and she even made the programs for me, which is just, thank you. My next one is for Rod. He's been the second he's like a second dad to me also. And he's been like another scoutmaster with everyone else, and he's just helped me through a lot. And it's for Paul. He's been like a second dad for me. He's helped me a lot, and when my parents went to not Iceland, but New Zealand and Australia, I got to stay at his house and Tracy's house for a month, and with Matt, which was quite interesting. Yeah, and he was a scoutmaster for most of my scout period, well, to this, and he's helped me for a lot, and I really appreciate it. But this is for Tracy, and she's been like a second or third mom for me. And she's helped me with a lot. She's helped me with many requirements. She's let me stay with her at her house. Awesome cooking. And just that you paid anything. I did. But yeah, just thank you. I am not quite sure he's here, but is Rick Molinari here? No. Okay. Another mentor pin was to go to Hank. He was my not scoutmaster, but cubmaster for more than, well, except for 1 year. That was about it. But like for the rest, he was my scoutmaster, and he's helped me through it a lot. He's helped me with all the segments I earned in the Cub Scouts. He's pushed me to till this. He's helped me a lot. I wish he could be here, but. And then my last is for my mom. She's helped me a lot with everything. She's pushed me really hard at everything. She's never let me quit at anything.
Second, third?
This is
She's
first
my
mom, right? Yeah. Just had to ask that problem.
Yeah, so. And also, she's collected all of my ranks, rank pin things, and my, what are they called? Patrols, yes. My patrol patches. And so, since she's been trying to get all of the pins for the ranks, I decided to get her an Eagle Scout pin.
He's been dying to have this since he was in kindergarten, first grade. So as everybody in school and scouts know, that my van has been dubbed as the Rondo-mobile or the Scout-mobile. So if you ever see a van do this at a stoplight, it's 99% us. So I go to him, and he goes, the reason is the boys rock the van at a red light, and at green light, it stops. So those boys who've ever been in my van, yeah, they get laughs. So he's been wanting to put this on my car for a long time. And you got a little sticker. And for those who don't know, George loves belt buckles, but this belt buckle just doesn't look quite right. Just check your board out, that one.
Could Lewis and Clark District Commissioner Joe Carter, representing Gateway Elks, please come forward?
February 11th, George had a ticket board. I had the pleasure of being the chairman of it. Normally, it's not an inquisition. Was it an inquisition, George?
Not really.
Okay. Okay. At the round table the week before, you referred to me as Mr. Carter, and you said, I'm afraid of you. I don't know why you'd be afraid of me, but I'm scary? Okay. Okay, then you don't get the flag. Okay, on behalf of the Gateway Elks, I'm happy to be here. Not only because I'm a member of the Elks Lodge, but because I'm also the district commissioner. And not the chairman, as the program says, because that's okay, I don't want to be the chairman anyway. So, he has to worry about the money, I can't worry about the program. So, present you with a flag. Certificate says this flag, United States of America, has flown over the U.S. Capitol at the request of the Gateway Elks Lodge 2411 American Committee. The flag was presented to George Marcus Eikenberry in recognition of your achievement of Eagle Scout. Because you have demonstrated that you daily practice the teachings of democracy. We are proud to call you a fellow citizen because you have worked hard to prove that you believe in the United States as one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. As the red, white, and blue colors of this piece of cloth blend together to make a beautiful flag, so have the skills you have mastered blended together to make you an outstanding citizen. Congratulations again. Now, here's the flag. I don't want to wait. There's a story told. This hunter would go hunting every year in the hills of Tennessee. And when the first year he went, they didn't have a dog, hunting dog for him. So they gave him a little puppy and said, what's his name? His name is Cub. So he went hunting with it, and the dog had nothing but energy. Didn't know what it was doing, didn't know how to flush birds out of the bush, but he had a lot of energy. So the hunter managed to get his limit every day. He was there for a week. And he was there. And he went there every year to get the same dog. Dog got older, they changed the name from Cub to Scout. And he was there years and years, and finally one year he went back, and he said, I want that dog back. He said, well, okay, no problem. So the owner of the lodge gave him the dog, and he went off, the dog just lay there and didn't do anything. Wouldn't move a muscle. And maybe the dog's not feeling good. So a couple of days he asked the lodge owner, what's the problem with dogs? He said, well, we had a group of hunters in here last week, and he referred to him as Eagle. Now all he does is lay around and eat. What got you here was not laying around and eating. Okay? Keep that, don't stop now. Okay? Congratulations.
remarks.
Okay, well, I would like to thank everyone who's here, and especially the people who have helped me to get to this spot. Like Matt, Bryce, all of those people over here, over there, everyone over there, and everyone here. So, my greatest thank you is to Paul, Rita, and like all the Scoutmasters I've had. Just thank you. You've helped me through this. You've pushed me hard to this, and you've really helped me. And also, there's many other people out here, not many people know, but like Alan Lowcamp, Patrick Lowcamp, they've helped me a lot. They made fun of me, but they've helped me a lot. There's, oh my gosh, I'm blanking out the name. Mrs. Duncan. You've helped me a lot. Same thing, you've pushed me really hard to everything. You sometimes, like, joked around with me, kind of made little jokes about me, but...
It's not required.
There's Philip, who always... I don't know, I don't really know how to explain it, but he just...
He's Philip.
Yes. And there's Max. He's been like an older brother. But the time that I spent with Mom at his house was really weird. Especially every day, 6 in the morning, he wakes me up to get off the couch to watch news. And I got really tired of that. And then I fixed got used to it after a week. And then when he tried to get me skateboarding, that didn't work. And just many times when he's picked me up, tied me to maybe a tree or two. Yes, you've done that. Was that amazing? And then there's Bubby. Always chases me and always says, "Why do you always run?" And then just fall into the fetal position. And my response is, "Because I'm scared of you." And that's basically my response to every time someone asks me why I'm scared of them. Or why I run away or freak out.
You're not alone.
And then there's Laddie, who has been there for me since day one of scouting. I've known him since I was a little cub scout, and I just like to thank you for being here and supporting me. And then all my family members who's come and supported me and helped me through these 3 years. Thank you.
So it's supposed to be comments from the audience, but I get my story first. I'm standing up here. You guys are up here. You can make your own choice. So yes, he does curl into the fetal position. It's kind of his thing. This started before I started chasing. Back when the owls started chasing. He'd run, and he'd run fast. And he'd run for like 20 minutes. And then he'd wear out. And he kind of dropped down, and he'd just curl into a ball. And whenever hit him, you just kind of stand around and stare. And it was always really funny. And now he's gotten, well, not bigger, but older, I'm sure. He's learned not to just run. He kind of stands there and he goes, "Huh, you're not going to do anything, so you hit." But really, he's a great person. Probably never going to meet someone as... Well, I'll never meet someone like George again. I'd say that. 13 years of age, he's reached the rank of Eagle Scout. He's not only met what most people never achieve, but he has exceeded it far. He's a great person, whether you choose to believe that or not, up to you, I guess. But he's a great person. He'll always be there to help you out. And I just want to say thanks. Now, anyone else who has stuff to say? That guy. He has hand up. That guy.
Just so you know, the reason why George has been allowed the swords is he's been looking over here.
Run, George, run.
Start running, George. Get a head start on him. Fetal position.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Butch Keepers, Scoutmaster of Troop 120, recently deposed King of Lewis and Clark, and most currently the Pirate King of Cabaret. For those of you who don't know me, this is the serious part of the program. For those of you who do, get your cameras ready. To make sure that you understand that this is serious, this is a candlelight ceremony. Now, I am happy to tell the story later about Weeblo's Woods and why we have our first item here, but you just have to play along and understand. Now, just like in the days of old, you had to go from page to squire to knight, so George has gone from Cub Scout to Boy Scout to Eagle Scout. So tonight, as King of Lewis and Clark and the Pirate King, we will be knighting George. First, because you must always be safe.
This is all your fault. This is all your fault.
Every knight must have a helmet. Don't make me get another one out. Now, every knight needs to protect himself, and I will tell you a short story. At Weeblo's Woods, George was in charge, and he was trying to talk to the group. And George got up onto a table to tell everybody what was going on, what the program was, because nobody could hear him. They couldn't see him, things of that nature. He's the one over here, by the way, for the guys in the back. While he was there, a person who will remain nameless, they're not here tonight, scared George, and he did not assume the fetal position. Do you remember what the lady told you? No. There was a lady with a wild look in her eyes who told him that the angels were here to get him, George, so he'd better be good at Weeblo's Woods. Now, there are going to be lots of people in life who give you lots of crap, so I have made a special shield for you.
Oh, no.
This is your own personal toilet paper dispenser to shield you from the crap people are going to give you.
So mean, Butch.
Oh, it only gets better. Now, when I first showed up at Lewis and Clark as the king, we need a bigger helmet for you. After I was done with my presentation, George stole my sword. And he walked around, you guys might remember, with the white sashes, threatening people that you need to listen with the sword. It was okay because this was a Nerf sword. When I came back as the Pirate King, I had a real sword. George went, ooh, ah, yeah, it's real. Amazingly enough, we gave it to him. Nobody got hurt. He didn't lose 8 corners off of his totem chip. So I thought, we need to get George his own sword. But no. He's already been a Cub Scout. You have your totem chip, don't you?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
You got it on you?
It's embarrassing.
All right.
Wait, do I have to show it?
You don't have to show it. I
Okay,
just want to know
good.
if you had it.
Yeah, I do have it.
So we were going to upgrade him to a bigger knife. But then I realized George is in the way. That's just not going to work. So, Mr. Eikenberry,
Oh, jeez.
I am proud to present to you as first knight of Lewis and Clark, if I can outsmart the wrapping. with your very own sword. Congratulations! Congratulations, sir. I would put your toilet paper dispenser up there because you're going to get a lot more crap later on through the day. I'll leave the camels for you.
Oh, you know, it's a good Eagle Court when Butch has a sword, so... Well, I've known George since he's been about this tall. Now he's this tall, so... the first time I met George... Oh, by the way, I'm Ryan Martin. I'm an assistant scoutmaster and former associate advisor of the chapter, and of the OA chapter. And when I first met George, we were at a meeting, we were talking, me and Matt Keinberger, and I just see this kid go... I go, what was that? He goes, it's George. Don't worry about it. And I didn't worry about it until the next thing I know, George is in our chapter, and then George is our chapter chief. And actually before this, George is the smallest scout I've ever had in OA, literally. And I've been in OA for a long time. And I'm not trying to make fun of your stature, you just were a small kid. And I kind of said, how old is this one? 11, 12?
11.
Oh, wait, when it used to be, is it? No. But George became our mascot, which is kind of great. And the boys had a habit of holding him up at every chapter event or lodge event. So if you've noticed for about 3 years, every picture we have when all the people are together, there's the OA group and there's George.
Held up.
Held up. So me and you have followed kind of a similar career path in scouting. I was a Tiger Cub as well. I went all the way through Cub Scouts, on to Boy Scouts. I held chapter chief as well as Pacific Area Service chief. So, and yes, you have too. So you kind of remind me of me, and I also too look like I was swimming in every uniform I had on. So I just wanted to tell you I'm very proud of you, and since you're only 13 and an Eagle Scout, the next 5 years, I expect some amazing things out of you because you really set the bar high for yourself.
4 years and 6 days.
So if you want to be lazy, now's not the time. I've had the honor of having George in our OA group. I'm very proud of you, and I would like to present you something. If you guys know airmen, they always like 3 things: knives, fire, and adventure. Generally, adventure involving fire and knives. I can attest to this. Someone asked my mom about the napalm fire in Scouters Mountain. Since you're continuing tradition, I thought I would give you something that every airman is going to need, and especially every Eagle is going to need. So I need to first have you stand up here. Surprised you're getting lit on fire. No. You have your token chip, right?
Yes.
This, sir, is for you.
Thank you. Oh, whoa.
Don't cut yourself.
It's real. Huh?
Just you
know. I thought, as a gift, I always felt the most useful gift for ones that could be used. So I got George a pocket knife that has the Eagle Scout crest engraved on it with his name and the date of his Eagle Court. May you always remember it, use it wisely, and don't lose it on the trail, or you know who's coming.
I'm Margaret Martin. I happen to be the mother of that child that just left the podium. He has been an adventure to live with. He's done many things in scouting, including making various things for wonderful fires. I won't go any farther than that. There are some of those things that become legendary within the chapter. I'm the Scoutmaster of Troop 71, but I've been the chairperson for Webelos Woods the last couple of years, and we've held it up at Camp Wilkerson. It happens to be a county park, kind of isolated up in the Coast Range. Very beautiful venue. But this last year, we had some hunters that were renting cabins in they weren't where the Cub Scouts were camped in the Adirondacks, but we did have some young hunters who got a little inebriated, and one stumbled into the cabin I was in with another person. And Kim rolled over and grabbed the two-way and said, "George, are you out there? We have an intruder in our cabin." And shortly after the intruder left the cabin, George, who is legendary for running, and Matt came running up. Matt, they were both, I think, barefoot, and Matt had his hatchet with him. My protectors. I have a little memento for you. It's a challenge coin for you to remember here. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Time to run, George. Well, George, I tell you, it has been a very lovely time seeing you grow, seeing you, oh, checkered, that's, yeah, okay, I get that. The finish line, I just saw his belt buckle, it's finish line. You know, I was really surprised you came in and you were enthusiasm and your eyes were wide open and you were just there, but it always amazed me is that he was this tall and all the other scouts were like me tall. And they were always going, okay, we can do that. So I was thinking something to help raise your physical stature to reach to that of, well, your actual political stature. And he really is the cat in the hat. Please, sir, come forward. I thought about not doing this, but I just chose to. Also, there's a tradition that's been going around for a long time of coins for different things. They're in the military, but they're also in scouting. This is the 100th anniversary Scouting Council. It's a rather nice motif. I have one for you, George. I'll give you the protective covering because I know that you're going to use it a lot. And it basically goes in your pocket, something to remember everything that you have done, that which you are doing, and that which you will do. Thank you. And there's one for your mom.
I feel shorter. So, since Chris. Oh, yeah, just. Guys got one from my mom also. Thank you. Here you go.
Come on up here, George. A lot of you probably don't know me. My name is Mark Henson. I am affiliated with my wife, who is the local Girl Scout troop leader here. We got to know George's mom here over the last year, and I have a little quick story, and I have a little presentation for him, and it's basically about the power of a good turn and a good deed daily. When I was a scout back in New Jersey, back in the early 1970s, yes, I am dating myself here. I got my eagle when I was 14, not too much older than I think you are right now.
You've got 6 days left.
6 days, all right, you got me beat. Okay. We had one of those typical big snowstorms back in New Jersey. That's classic, very heavy wet snow, and there was a gentleman in my neighborhood who had broken his leg. And my mother says, go out and do your good turn daily and go over there and shovel the driveway for this gentleman. Well, he had about a 100-yard long driveway, one of those very heavy wet snows that I'm sure to this day I'm still suffering from some back pain from that. But of course my mother said, don't you dare take any money. You're a scout. You're an Eagle Scout. All right. And he came out with a $10 bill in 1974 for a kid, 14. That was a lot of money. And I said, no, sir, I can't take it. It's just something I'm doing for you because you pretty much laid up and I'd like to just help you out. And he said, you're with the local scout troop here. And I said, yes, I am. And he said, do you collect patches? And I said, yes, I do. And he went in and brought out his collection. And what I'd like to give to George, the part of my collection that gentleman gave me almost more than 30 years ago. And some of these are patches going back to about 1960 with the National Jamborees. These are the original patches. I have not had an opportunity to give those to anyone right now, a deserving Eagle Scout. And I went up to my attic and looked through my entire collection and thought I'd give these just a part of my collection to George. And all I'm going to ask George to do is that someday he gives this on to another Eagle Scout, a gentleman who may not even be born yet, a young man not even born, to give these patches on as a legacy as we approach the 125th anniversary of scouting and maybe even the 150th anniversary of scouting. There is the 1960, this is the original patch when the 50th anniversary of Boy Scouts was there. So George, congratulations.
Okay. Good. All right. If y'all had something to say, well, you missed the boat. All right. I now declare this Eagle Court of Honor. Awesome. Come on.
I don't get any hot pants and stuff. And I am looking forward to doing our yard work. So I've got a poopy diaper here. Can you help me with this one?
It's your job.
George, they're ready to get in it.
Okay. I now declare this Eagle Court of Honor closed. Once we have retired the colors, could everyone who is wearing a scout shirt please head outside to pose for a group picture?
I have something to say also.
We need bigger cameras. You have something to say now?
Yes.
Quickly before flag starts, all the Boy Scouts and if Venture Crew could possibly, I need to help to pull up all of the carpet and put away all the chairs. So if that is possible, awesome. Thank you.
You got it. If the audience would please rise. Attention. Color guard, forward march. Ready, halt. Group hand salute. Please retire the color. Bow, face, 2. Color guard, forward march. Ready, halt. Color guard dismiss. Group dismiss.
I don't know. I've known George just casually for about the last year. His mother and my wife have been involved in Scouts. Again, my wife has been dealing with the Girl Scouts and got to know his mother over the last year. And we've met George a couple times, and he was a pretty outstanding young man. And, glad to know him.
Tell me about passing on the patches.
Yeah. Again, I grew up back in New Jersey, and back in those days, we used to get some pretty good big snowstorms, still do. I had my Eagle Scout. A gentleman in my neighborhood broke his leg, and he asked me to, my mother actually told me to go over and do my good turn daily as a scout and shovel his driveway. And it was one of those real wet, heavy snows and a lot of effort, about a 100-yard long driveway. Got that all done. And of course my mother said, don't you dare take any money. So I did all the work, and the gentleman came out with his crutches and said, well, thank you very much. And he was going to hand me a $10 bill. And in 1974, for a 14-year-old, that was a good chunk of money. And I said, no, I can't take it. I'm just doing my good deed as a scout. And he asked me, oh, you're with this local scout troop here in town, which is Mount Tabor, New Jersey. And I said, yes, I am. And he said, you collect patches? I said, absolutely. He went into his house, came out with a small cardboard box that had scouting patches going back to all the national jamborees, going back to about 1954. I still have those patches today. He didn't have a son, just asked me to pass them on to some scout somewhere down the road, and here we are some almost 35 years later, and I've passed on a portion of that collection that I received in 1974 and moved it on to George.
Well, now I'm officially assistant scoutmaster for Troop 351.
You know George?
Yeah. I've known him since he was, actually since he joined the troop. His first camp out with us actually was, if I remember right, was snow camp. We camped in 6 feet of snow. And he couldn't wait to go camping. And the most memorable thing about George is, they said that people in the OA like knives and fire and adventure. Well, the scouts in general like knives, fire, and adventure. And George would always come up and want to build the campfire. And of course, to build the campfire meant he got to go chop wood. And he loves to chop wood. So he'll chop wood in the axe yard all day long if you let him.
Let's see, you want to go first or you want me to?
I'll go ahead.
Okay. I met George back when he was a Weeblo. I met him when Mom brought him to round tables. And ever since there, it's just been on and off as far as different activities and things like that. The big one for me that I've been giving George a bad time about is the helmet. We'll tell you the helmet story real quick. While we were at Weeblo's Woods, one of the boys in the OA forgot to pack a sleeping bag, and so Rhonda went ahead and said, we have a spare one, we'll go ahead and get it for you, bring him up. So we made him a helmet out of a paper bowl, and when we told everybody on the radio that was happening, I have never seen George run so fast in my entire life. He ran probably a good half the distance of the camp, easily, barefoot at 11 o'clock at night in the woods. It was the most awesome thing I'd ever seen. He almost tackled everybody in his way just so he could get up there and see the helmet that was being put on the young man who was getting it. It was a magic moment for him.
Quite classic. Quite classic.
And you, sir?
Well, I still remember seeing him at see him at events, and I was like, who's this little jumping bean? He's just like, he's like lightning in a bottle. He's running all over the place. I'm like, oh, that's George. Okay. And about a year later, he was in the OA. He shows up, and I'm like, okay, here's this little bunny rabbit of energy just running all over the place. Okay, I want to learn how to do this. I want to do that. I want to do that. Okay. And so I found at this point later on that here are the older kids that are much taller, bigger, older, and they're all kind of going like, well, what are we going to do, George? He's like going, give me a second, I'll get back to you. Come up with some plan, and these older kids would go, okay, sounds like a plan, and off they go, and I'm like, okay, George, you just knocked out the first 2 rules of leadership. You got it nailed, and you didn't even try. And here he is, later on, he became the chapter chief and did a great job. I was amazed at at just the fact that he's got the skills and does it. And now he's going to be our service advisor for our service chief.
Pacific area?
For the, yeah. And I must admit, I thought I was doing good at 16 getting my Eagle, and he got it at 13.
I will tell you one of the things that did impress me, and there he is now, Mr. George Eikenberry. Recently at Merit Badge University, somebody signed up for a merit badge and didn't show up. But the most amazing part was there were 9 other boys there. Half of them didn't know each other, but all of them were extremely excited because George was coming to my particular merit badge. So his impression gets around quite a bit. Everybody knew who he was. They were all excited. They were raring to go. And then they were all very sad when George didn't show up to be at the merit badge because I think he was sick or something of that nature.
Sicker than a dog.
But it was he's a very entertaining individual to be around.
He is. He is. Now, if I just had a quarter of the energy he had,
easily a quarter. I think the Energizer Bunny would go, man, he's got some power.
Definitely.
Anything I've forgotten? Anything?
I think just simply, if he keeps on the pace and the path that he's going, we'll probably vote for him as president.
Could be. I'm hoping that he does stay on top of it, goes and gets things like his Eagle Palms while he can, different activities. The more that he is out there as an individual, the more impressive that he will be to the other boys behind him, because he's going to be kind of an icon. 13 years old, Eagle Scout, very active with OA, so on and so forth.
I haven't actually approached it yet, but I'm thinking if he can get 9 palms, which should be easy. There's only 3 of these left.
What's that one?
This is the leftovers from the Lewis and Clark hikes, trails.
Oh, the different bronzes and golds and stuff of that nature.
This is the extra award. I'm thinking that if he can get 9, let's make it an even 10. If he can get 10 palms, he's only got 5 years to go.
It's going to be rough.
It might be rough, but since I know there's only 3 of these left, I think I'll give him one.
That works. Now he has a plan. Thank you, sir.
District Commissioner, Lewis and Clark District Commissioner.
Joe, tell me a little bit about George.
Well, I don't know George that well. He is the district OA chapter chief. Puts a lot of energy into his position, and it's fun to be around at OA events.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the specialist solemnness of this ceremony.
Well, the Eagle. This ceremony is when you figure that only 4% of all Boy Scouts to get Eagle. It's quite an accomplishment, and it's quite an accomplishment for somebody so young. Because usually it takes 2, 3, 4 years to once you get into Boy Scouts to do that. He did it in record time for this district, primarily because of his grandmother being about to lose her eyesight. And from district leadership, adult leadership, we're very proud of George.
Everybody to your left.